Okay, let's get back to it. Yesterday, thinking about it, yesterday I didn't upload the VOD. Whoops. But yesterday we finished the post Stormblood patches MSQ. So we are potentially at a point where we could start Shadowbringers today. But before we do that, I want to do the job quests for Gunbreaker and Dancer, which we've not done. The ones, like the introductory job quests. Despite the fact that I have Gunbreaker up to level 98, I have not done any of its job quests yet. You've got a meeting in 2 hours to present your thesis PowerPoint to your professors. Good luck. I have about 6 hours before I go to my first men's mental health group, which could be really, really good, or it could just bum me out more. So I'm a little apprehensive about that. And Friday you have your final presentation. It'll be online if for some reason I want to watch. Your final presentation, or I assume it must be your final one. I don't know, I could... The defense presentation, aka the grading part of it. Fair enough. I'm not sure that I'd understand any of it. As much as it would be interesting to see the fish give a presentation, I don't know that any of it would make any sense. Okay, let's start with Gunbreaker. Which, despite it being the most recent tank that I've unlocked, it's also the class that I've leveled first. I think that's just because Gunbreaker is quite good solo. Like, they do quite a lot of damage, but because their heal move is on their second hit rather than their third, they also have pretty decent sustain. I think there was logic to why I did it. I think I need to go to, East Shroud. They haven't moved to Gridania yet, because I literally did the quest to unlock it and then fucked off. Where? There. So this is the Hrothgar, right? Yeah, the Hrothgar and Bunny. Ixion's massive in Final Fantasy XIV. They actually scale depending on the race that's riding them. All of the mounts scale. So because I am one of, if not the tallest race, I forget if Viera is the tallest or if it's Eorzean, I basically have one of the largest mounts as well. Yeah, this Ixion, it be big boy. This be big boy. Obviously, the boss version of him that you fight is even bigger, but I think that the behemoth that I ride, though, is about the same size as an in-game behemoth. Oh no, that's definitely smaller than an in-game behemoth. Like, even my chocobo is bigger than, say, a Lalafell. Obviously. Chocobo. Lalafells have all the smallest, tiny mounts. They're adorable. Anyway. Hired gunblades. Because Radovan is the... they're the bodyguard of Sophie. I forget if we knew anything more than that, though. Now that the Gunbreakers of Eld have yielded a portion of their wisdom, yep, level 98, a portion, you're ready to take blade in hand. Rather than spend moons and moons training you, perhaps we'd best find employment first. We can use the time between assignments to refine your abilities. Where should we start? The Adventurers Guild. Yes, that sounds quite promising. I suppose we are adventurers, after all. Tell me, are you familiar with this sort of thing? Oh my! In that case, we couldn't have found a better guide. Well, there's no time like the present, shall we? I like her star. Okay, and now they've moved Redania. That's literally all I needed to do to get them to move to a city-state. Although that does work out for me, because I need to do... Oh yeah, they're at the Carline Canopy. I need to do my retainers real quick. Okay. I don't think that's great for me, because I'm pretty sure I already have level 90 stuff, but... That's worse. Okay. Yeah, it's important for me to do quick explorations, because it's one of the few ways that I can get higher level equipment than where I'm at in the MSQ. Well, in expansions, I guess. That could come from dungeons and stuff, or in the case of stuff like this, not this, but what is glamored from, is the end of expansion equipment or Endwalker, which I'm, 2 expansions away from, but I got this from a quick venture and there's no other way that I would have gotten it. Now that Mother Mew has made us formal members of the Adventurers Guild, we can start accepting assignments. In fact, we've already been given the details of a potential client in need of a bodyguard or two. A man named Lassenchu is waiting by the Wailing Barracks. Sophie and I will try making our way there to get our bearings. Okay, there isn't an easy teleport spot. Where is the barracks? Is that the Lancers Guild? Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, okay. We could have potentially done Alan Wake today, but because I am streaming much earlier than I normally do, especially midweek. Well, only midweek. I guess I would normally be streaming at this time if it were the weekend. But because I'm streaming early on a weekday, I know that not as many people will be able to watch. So that's why we're doing Final Fantasy. Even though we did that yesterday. You must be the one sent by the Adventurers Guild, yes? Thank goodness. Something dreadful has befallen, well, threatens to befall the one and only Editha. Who the fuck's Editha? You mean to say you're unfamiliar with the most gifted harpsichordist who ever lived? Whatever possessed me to hire such uncultured... It appears my breath would be better spent briefing you on the nature of my request. A few days ago, Editha received a most unwelcome missive. Death threat, to be precise. At first, I deemed it nothing more than the crazed scrawlings of some harmless churl. That was until, during a recital, a stone was thrown at her, missing by a hair's breadth. I have, in my capacity as her manager, cancelled all public appearances until the perpetrator can be brought to justice. I fear, though, that my delicate tulip would wither and fail if confined to her dressing room, and she has herself expressed a desire to stroll freely beneath the canopies of Miketo's amphitheatre. I see where this is going. You want us to take her for a walk, is that it? If that's all we have to do, we should count ourselves lucky. A threatening letter, a brazen attack in a public place? Who knows what will happen next? She can't stay indoors forever. I say we accept. Splendid. Without any further ado, I shall have Editha prepare for her promenade. We'd best proceed carefully. If the culprit knows Lasenshu asked the Adventurers Guild for help, they can probably deduce that Editha will be coming out of hiding. We should see if anyone bears a grudge against her, so we know what to expect. We'd better look around the amphitheatre for places where an ambusher might hide. I mean, that does seem rather smart. I'm probably best off fast travelling again, aren't I? Yeah. Know of her? I certainly do. I'd consider myself to be one of her many admirers. In all honesty, I do not care for the way some of the others ogle her. If the rumours about Editha receiving death threats are true, one of those lecherous scoundrels must be behind it. Why yes, Editha has been the talk of Gridania since her debut. Her skill as a musician is without question, but I sense that many of her admirers are more interested in her bizarre stage garb. Bizarre garb? Okay, what about Simpkin? Are you simping over her? Oh, Editha? Even a moment deprived of her sumptuous harmonies is akin to an eternity of unimaginable torment. When, oh when, will she grace me with her splendour once more? Yeah, he's definitely simping. Wait, what's Philcox still doing here? I guess it is still the Halloween event. Even though it's the 4th of November now. After, have you met Miss Ondine? She's a harpsichordist, like Editha. Poor girl. What is the world coming to that a gifted and beautiful young performer such as her must hide away for fear of her life? It beggars belief. It must be one of her followers. I've seen the way some of them look at her, and it makes my skin crawl. With fans like that, who needs enemies? So, what did the locals have to say? Yes, most of them think that one of Editha's admirers is to blame. I sense there's more to it. I think, until we have more information, we should treat everyone with equal suspicion. To be on the safe side, personally, I'd prefer to carry out a more thorough investigation, but we'd best not keep our clients waiting. Once you're ready, let us return to Lassenschau. or Lassen Chew? Lassen who? Lassie. And that's where it tells me that I know all of the skills up to level 60. Yep. Definitely only to level 60. Although it is now going to level sync me. Editha assures me that she'll be ready in 2 shakes of Aziz's tail. Whatever that means. Okay. Ah, my chaperones have arrived. How wonderful. And off she fucks. Oh, to finally feel the sun's warming rays. I am reborn. They weren't joking when they called her an eccentric. All this prancing about's going to draw unwanted attention. We'd better get this over with as quickly as possible. Sophie, Arthur and I'll escort her to the amphitheatre. Why don't you stay behind with Lassenchew in case we need to hurry back? Fine by me. I'll keep an ear out for any signs of danger. Come running if you call. Although I was fully prepared to join you in guarding Editha, and even dressed for the occasion, I'll defer to your professional opinion and remain here. But promise me that you'll help my sweet Petunia. Help keep my sweet Petunia safe. Leave it to us. Are you ready, After? La la la, what a beautiful day for a stroll. So basically we're taking the resident e-girl for a walk. That's what's going on here. What? Oh, okay. I think that is legitimately just the outfit. I can't, like, examine her. But I also don't want to just look up her skirt, but she's wearing thigh highs. The green is an interesting choice, though. So they walk slightly faster than my walk speed, but significantly slower than my run speed. I hate escort quests like that. I hear that Editha's become something of a recluse of late. Do hope she returns to grace the stage once more. Is it true her music's inspired by all the wondrous places she's seen on her travels? Editha has only recently begun performing in Gridania and has already amassed a considerable following. I've heard, however, that some of the other harpsichordists are envious of her success. The whole of Gridania delights in Editha's magnificent melodies. Every other musician pales in comparison to her. You're escorting the lovely Editha. Please, allow me to make a record of this day's events. So you get the impression that a jealous rival is the instigator. I wonder what might be about to happen. Hello. Those are some interesting masks. Oh, I didn't have Royal Guard on, my bad. And she's dancing. Okay. I don't think I've ever done these job quests. In fact, I don't know why I'm saying I don't know. I know I've not. Thanks, Hodden. Oh, shit, there's more of them. Oh yeah, I'm playing optimally. Definitely using my buff at the right time to properly capitalize on my main damage combo. Whoever it is that's hired these people, though, have done a remarkably good job of redundancy. Because if we come across a third group of bandits, that takes some planning. It's quiet. Too quiet. What the fuck? My, what a naughty little rabbit. Seems you've wandered too far from your warren. How the fuck did you sneak a curl in here? The stage is set for your curtain call, though it cost me a pretty penny to rent the place. This will be the last time you walk all over my stage with those grubby little paws of yours. Oh my, who could have seen this coming? Come on. Tank 101. Group enemies. Tank 102. Tank things. To your kitty. Oh god. Gorib. Hell of a name. Oh shit. Okay, I guess we should do... I mean, I could guide you... Yeah, I need to get you away from Editha. Understood. That was a much better combo. I kind of just need you to die now, please. Bye-bye. The show's over. Now take off the mask before I cut it off. Your face with it. Oh my god, I had no idea that's who it was. Miss Undine. I might have guessed. What's Editha ever done to deserve this? That harlot doesn't know the first thing about real music. She thinks she can steal my fans, my stage, with those appalling outfits of hers. I won't stand for it, I won't! What happened here? I'd heard that Undine wasn't exactly a fan of Editha's. Never thought she'd pay to have her killed. Now we know that the highwaymen in the woods were in on her schemes too. A few days back, they held up Undine's carriage in the shroud. She made them an offer worth more than the valuables she was carrying. Mind you, I don't suppose there's many of the bastards left after today. You've done us all a good turn, so if you ever need anything from the god's quiver, don't hesitate to ask. Now that the danger is past, Editha will at long last be able to make her triumphant return to Miketo's amphitheatre. There's still one thing I don't quite understand. Why did those highwaymen attack me and Radovan in the woods? Because they mistook Sophie for Editha. Maybe it's because of your ears? I imagine Undine told them how much I love wearing my favourite bunny crown. They probably thought you were me. These ones aren't real Viera ears. At least I don't think so. Actually, I was wondering if I might have a word in private with the three of you. But there are four of us. Yes, but only if I include you. Which I'm not. What have I done to deserve such treatment? Well, I suppose a lady is entitled to her secrets. But before I return to my duties, I wish to express my gratitude for your part in today's events. You both performed admirably. Now that that pesky manager of mine's out of the way, let's go to the Great Glone Brewery. Hold on a second, because that's going to annoy the shit out of me. There we go, that seems to have fixed it. Alright, so we're going to the I could probably fast travel there, couldn't I? It's the Botanist's Guild. You risked life and limb to protect me, so I feel it only fair that I explain myself. One moment, please. Eh? The fucking it. Okay. What? You mean to say she was a sylph from the very beginning? Oh yes, this one feels much more comfortable now. It's fun to use glamours and play the harpsichord, but a little tiring. And this one spent so long in walking one's house. This one nearly died. These ones need the sun's rays to flourish, to live. That is why this one had to go outside, even though dangerous ones were all around. This one hopes helpful ones will understand and not tell simpering one. Listening ones will be sad if this one can no longer play sweet, sweet music. Your secret is safe with us. I'm ever so grateful. Promise you'll come to listen to my harpsichord soon, yes? Not quite the conclusion I was expecting, but a rather satisfactory one nonetheless. I must say, you've acquitted yourself rather well. It normally takes a lot longer for novices to grasp the fundamental differences between a gunblade and a regular sword. It was originally developed by my people in the Third Astral Era. The march of the Ala Mhigan Empire had driven us to the barren wastelands where even survival was a constant struggle. Our queen, Gunhilda, was closely guarded by loyal soldiers known for the unique swords they wielded. These loyal vassals were known as Gunhilda's Blades, a name that was abbreviated and applied to the most distinctive of their weapons, the gunblade. Meanwhile, the Ala Mhigans were developing firearms capable of launching projectiles over great distances. As they were similar in appearance to our gunblades, we referred to these weapons as guns, a term which is now commonplace. So effective were these new weapons on the battlefield, the Queen's Guard decided to specialize in smashing through the enemy lines and destroying them as swiftly as possible. Thus did they come to be known as gunbreakers. Sophie's falling asleep. Even after the fall of the Ala Mhigan Empire, these techniques were passed down to each new generation. My clan are the descendants of Gunhilda's royal guard, although I am all that remains. It is my duty to see that the art of the gunbreaker lives on, even if that means entrusting it to an outsider, such as yourself. If you like history lessons, you two will get along like a house on fire. I'd best leave it there for the time being. I don't want to overwhelm the lass. The Best learning's done in the field, however. As pleasant as Gridania is, I'm eager to see what the other city-states have to offer. Then may I suggest Uldar? Their markets have goods from all over the world, and I'm dying to take a look. Uldar it is, then. Sophie and I will go on ahead. When you arrive, seek us out. It shouldn't be hard to find. We'll be the only Hrothgar and Viera there. Okay. That's a different outfit. It's good to finally get away from that noisy marketplace. Not that this watering hole's much quieter. Still, it's a paradise compared to anything you'll find in Garlean territory. I think he's just in a sour mood because he can't find any work. You're not wrong there, Sophie. We'll keep looking, though. You'd better train by yourself until we find our next client, which with a little luck, will be soon. The walls that surround this city remind me of my homeland. We built it as a fortress to keep out invaders. Not that it made much difference in the end. Oh, not this again. Perhaps you could lighten the mood by sharing our recent bit of good news. Ah yes, looks like we found our next client. Nothing's been decided, but a lady named Auriel is waiting for us near the gates of Thal. We'll meet you there. Is there a reason why Sophie no longer looks like a mage and looks like a retainer instead? That probably wasn't actually any quicker than just running there, was it? Maybe. You're the bodyguards, right? We need your help. It's my husband. After he walked out, I thought I'd seen the last of him, but now, you gotta keep him away from us. I'm not sure we're qualified to settle domestic disputes. Radovan, this is serious. Hear her out, would you? Very well. My apologies. Please, continue. His name's Geralt. He won't leave us alone, and he keeps jumping out to harass us when we're by ourselves. If we were to go outside the city gates, I'm sure he'd follow us, and when he does, I want you to scare him off. I doubt he'll show himself if he sees you with bodyguards, so we'll wait somewhere nearby. When the moment is right, give him a fright that he won't soon forget. Yes, that ought to work. Tim and I will leave through this gate, so you should find a hiding place. It's time that bastard, excuse my language, learned his lesson. What does Tim think about his dad jumping out? He was suspiciously quiet. Remember, we've got the boy to think about. I'd rather not cut a man down in front of his own son, but I will if I have to. You follow my lead. Get away from her. What? Who the bloody hell's are you? Friends of Auriel. Now walk away, while you still can. I only want what's best for my boy. Your boy? You've got no right to call him that. He belongs to me. This is your final warning. Bother them again and you won't live to regret it. This seems very black and white. I'm sure it's not quite that simple. That'll teach him. And you are wonderful, worth every gil. Thank you so much. It was our pleasure. But why hasn't Tim said anything? Oh no. Although there wasn't much for you to do, your presence lent weight to my words. Most importantly, the client was satisfied with our work. Yes, she did seem rather pleased with herself. Listen, you two. There's no time to explain. We have to follow that woman. Hell's bells. When Sophie gets one of her hunches, there's no stopping her. The dad... Oh, to Drybow. Okay. The dad was actually trying to look out for his son, wasn't he? Why would she bring Tim all the way out here? To sell him? Probably, yeah, probably is. What are we supposed to do with a runt like this? If we feed him up, he might be worth something one day. She's selling her own child? We've got to stop them. Wait, is that... Enough of this! Stay away from my son. Son, eh? Heh. You should have kept out of this, mate. It's too late now. So yeah, Geralt was just trying to do the right thing. Quickly, we've got to help him. Ugh. Not now. After. Up to you. Oh, I get to do this at level 98? Never stood a chance. You saved us. How can I ever... Daddy! After I let you down, I let everyone down. Sophie, what happened here? I knew from the moment I met Auriel there was something not quite right about her. It wasn't until later I realized. She's a somnus addict. Once it takes hold, it changes you. She wasn't able to keep her addiction hidden. She was able to keep her addiction hidden from most, but not from me. Probably not from her family either. Yes, I've known for a while. I had no idea she'd do something like this. If she had the money to hire us, though... That doesn't quite add up, but... God, if I hadn't started gambling, this never would have happened. My debts spiraled beyond my control, and she ran to get away from me, to start a new life with our son. The shock of losing them made me realize I couldn't live like that anymore, so I vowed to turn my life around, and I worked my fingers to the bone to repay the money I owed. By the time I finally found the courage to track down Auriel, it was too late. She'd made new friends, the wrong sort of friends, and had to resort to God only knows what to make ends meet. It became too much to bear, and somnus was her only escape. Nothing else mattered to her, not even her own child. So you see, it wasn't only my life I'd ruined. It made her who she is today, and that's why I don't have it in me to hate her. What'll you do now? Plan to send her to Frondale's frontistery. They can treat people like Auriel, though it costs more than most folk can afford. My savings should cover it for a short while, at least. We'll take it one day at a time and see how she responds to the treatment. I know she might never recover, but I can't give up on her. Obviously, she's in no fit state to look after Tim, so he'll be living with me. Could have been killed confronting those slavers. If you wind up dead, there'll be no one to look after the boy. From now on, you'll have to think before you act. I will, I swear it. Thank you all, for everything you've done. That poor child. Sophie's quick thinking may have saved him on this occasion. I fear his hardships are far from over. I, on the other hand, only succeeded in disgracing myself. Again. It's not your fault, Radovan. I think you owe after an explanation, though. Yes, if we are to fight side by side, there's something you should know. Though I served as an imperial conscript for a time, after I disobeyed a direct order, I was sentenced to solitary confinement for more than a decade. Like many of the inmates, I was forced to wear a Magitech collar. The wardens could use them to administer a severe electric shock anytime they pleased. Pleased them, it did. The paralysis would eventually wear off, but even now, years after removing the collar, my whole body will suddenly seize up. It's as though the pain never left me and could reawaken at any moment. Yeah, it's burnt out some of your nerve endings. Thankfully, my condition appears to have improved somewhat since leaving the Empire. Perhaps one day I'll be free of it, but until then, there's no telling when it might strike. Radovan saved my bacon more times than I can count. It's only fair that I do the same for him. We've been through thick and thin ever since the first time we met in that Garlean jail. I was awaiting execution along with the other captured members of the Resistance, as well as various insurgents and undesirables. Among them were several somnus addicts. Even in an imperial jail, there are ways to get your hands on it. When I saw Auriel, I couldn't put my finger on it at first. She had the same look in her eyes as those lost souls. Anyway, where was I? So, Radovan had been meaning to escape ever since he was first imprisoned, and was secretly digging a tunnel. A few ilms each night, over the course of about 10 years. The only thing was, it went the wrong way. Then one night, he suddenly bust through my wall. Why did you have to tell her that? You know I'm far from proud of my miscalculation. Well, things worked out in the end, didn't they? The other inmates made such a racket when you came crashing in, it drew the attention of the wardens and all hell broke loose. In the confusion, Radovan and I forced our way past the guards. By some miracle, we managed to avoid their searchlights. And finally, we were free. Free to return to my wife and child, to my homeland. Or so I thought. While I'd been rotting away in a Garlean cell, everything I knew, everything I loved had been taken from me. I should have been there, but I couldn't even... Enough of this. We've spoken over long as it is. Well then, where to next? I think I've had my fill of Uldar. What say we try our luck in Limsa-Laminza? I'm sure a change of scenery will do us a world of good. Yes, I like the sound of that. Let's reconvene at the local Adventurers Guild. Okay, and is Sophie gonna change outfit again? Is that how this is gonna work? Yes, yes she is. Okay. So now she's a sailor girl. Actually looks pretty good, to be fair. A city founded by pirates? Well, there's a terrible idea if ever I heard one. With all the cutthroats running rampant, I'm surprised there's anyone left. What about the views? The sea breeze? There'll be plenty of time to enjoy ourselves once we've a few more gil in our pockets. After, we're still waiting for word from the guild, so perhaps you could find somewhere for a few practice swings in the meantime? You'll be pleased to hear the Yellow Jackets have offered us an assignment. After taking on more than we bargained for with our previous clients, we're hoping this one will turn out to be relatively straightforward. We haven't heard what it entails yet, but I'll bet it's something important. A man called Futag Ufutag has arranged to meet us in Bulwark Hall. Let's go and see what he wants. What was that name? I mean, it means that he's probably going to be a Lalafell. But Futag Bulfutag. Yafutag. Thanks for coming at such short notice. Time's of the essence, so I'll be brief. We want you to protect Goldwaits, who was until recently leader of the Flaming Mongrels. They were once a gang of raiders, but eventually settled in Limsa Laminza to extort and rob their way to a position of considerable influence in the criminal underworld. That all ended when Goldwaits turned himself in. No one saw it coming, not even the other Flaming Mongrels. He's due to give testimony in exchange for a reduced sentence. Not just about the crimes he committed himself either. All the gangs he's had dealing with have ample reason to silence him before he spills his secrets. He's currently being held in the Morobi dry docks. Your job is to see to it that he reaches Limsa in one piece. So you want us to act as bodyguards to a criminal? Don't like the sound of that. We'd be protecting the information that's in his head, which could be used to bring countless other lawbreakers to justice. Sounds like a worthwhile cause to me. It is. Before you ask why we're hiring outsiders, it's to avoid attention. If I pull too many Yellow Jackets from their posts, the gangs will figure out what's going on. Better to give the impression it's business as usual while using professionals like you to escort them in secret. We still need to secure the route, so I'll go on ahead and see to the preparations. Come find me at the dry docks when you're ready. Before we begin, we should find out more about this Goldwaits. While it's important to place our trust in the client, I don't want to repeat the mistakes we made last time. There's lots of speaking to people so far. If the rumours are true, the Flaming Mongrels are involved in most of the money lending and extortion that goes on in this city. Goldwaits was at the centre of this web, overseeing every aspect of these clandestine activities. Now that he's finally found the decency to give himself up, I imagine that his former associates would rather he kept quiet concerning their dealings. Oh yeah, everyone's heard of the Flaming Mongrels. Their modus operandi is to offer loans, increase the interest to the extent their mark has no hope of ever paying it back, and then forcing that poor soul to obey their every whim. I'm not at liberty to discuss an ongoing investigation. I can say, however, that many Yellow Jackets believe heartless curs like Goldwaits deserve nothing better than death. Nothing less than death. He and his rogues have left only tragedy and despair in their wake. Mercy would be a waste. Charming. Did you hear anything useful? Yes, it's just as Ufutag said. Goldwhite certainly has a lot of enemies on both sides of the law. Radovan, it's not too late to refuse. Think about what you're doing. Trust me, I have. Now let's say no more on the matter. We have a job to do. It's not like we're protecting a criminal just because, you know, they wanted some muscle. We're protecting a informant. They have to be a criminal in order for that to be significant. Pretty much. So I think Sophie's overreacting here. All set? Good. It's time to bring out the prisoner. I present Goldwhite, Scourge of Limsa Lominsa. His life's in your hands now. Guard him well. Thanking you kindly. Are you sure you got the right man? Quite sure. Now, listen carefully. This is important. We've scouted the road ahead and we've spotted a group of unsavory figures lying in wait. The plan is to put them down and rush past before anyone realizes what's happened. Well, if that's how you prefer us to handle it, then very well. But we'll need someone to take the lead and cut through their ambush. I choose you for that role. Show me how far you've come as a gunbreaker. The rest of us will stay close to Goldwhite's and fend off any that try to flank us. Futag, I give you my word that we'll get him to Limsa Lominsa, even if I have to carry him there. We're depending on you. Once you've cleared a path, we'll be right behind you. We'll regroup at Ocean's Embrace and assess the situation before moving on. Okay. So I have to kill some guys. Oh no. How terrible. Oh, there they are. Why is this location up? That was easy. Pretty poor attempt at an ambush. Without the element of surprise, then nothing. Yes, very impressive, but I'll save my thanks until we reach Limsa if you don't mind. I bring bad news, I'm afraid. Those men weren't here to ambush you. They were only lookouts. The bulk of the enemy... That's all, folks. The bulk of the enemy force lies ahead. We'll take the prisoner to a safe hiding place until those rogues have been dealt with. What? Why wasn't I informed sooner? We only just received the information ourselves. I'm to take the prisoner into custody while you're to return to your post until further notice. As for the hirelings, their services are no longer required. Now hold on a minute. Look, if you got a problem, take it up with Commodore Rayner. They're his words, not mine. Alright, you've made your point. Well, that's that then, I suppose. Nevertheless, I'll see that you receive the full amount as agreed. It was a pleasure to work with you. It feels odd that we're not going to even try and validate or verify what she's saying. Something about this doesn't add up. Surely it would make more sense for Futag to go with him. Besides, our agreement was to see Goldwhites to Limsa Lominsa. That's exactly what I intend to do. You two, come with me. Looks like the shoe's on the other foot this time, so I can hardly refuse. Come on, before he does something we'll regret. Hello? Where the fuck? Oh, okay. There we go. You took him inside. My guess is correct. There's no time to waste. Nothing for it but to follow him, I suppose. Okay, so they actually are a yellow jacket? That just wants him dead because he's a dick? Stop this at once! Stay out of it, sellsword. My friend's dead because of this filth. He's got no right to live, so why would you protect him? Because I gave my word. Though he may be beyond redemption, he acts not for his own sake, but for the good of others. His testimony will make Limsa Lominsa a safer place. Now lower your axe. I think the 12 you got here when you did. Didn't take long for us to find out it was all a ruse, but by then she'd already bought enough time to carry out her plan. Lucky for us, the three of you weren't so easily duped. Of course, she's not the only yellow jacket to bear a grudge against Goldwhites, but I never thought any of us would actually go to such lengths. Fine bloody mess this is. While we may have been waylaid somewhat, our orders to escort Goldwhites still stand. Before we go, I want to thank you for all you done. Truth is, I ain't got long to live. Even if I can escape having me head lopped off, the sickness will get me sure enough. Could have lived out your days as one of the leading figures in the underworld. Rich and powerful. What made you turn yourself in? Since 4 I can remember, I've been cheating and killing to put food in my belly and gill in my pocket. And I was good at it too. Worked my way to the top. But the top of what? A bunch of liars, swindlers and murderers. And when I found out I only have a few moons left, I realised. Limbs is the way it is because of people like me. It ain't gotta be that way though. Not if I say my piece. In that case, we'd best get you to Limsa. Post haste. Before I kick the bucket, lead the way. Not the most direct route, but we made it here in the end. All that remains is for Goldwhites to give his testimony. On behalf of the Yellow Jackets, I offer my thanks. You've kept your word. Now it's my turn. Fare you well. Every city has its problems. This one more than most. It's high time we moved on. Seeing as we've been to Ala Mhigo, Gridania, Uldar, and Limsa Lominsa, that just leaves Ishgard. I don't exactly thrive in cold climates, though. Just get yourself a decent overcoat and you'll be fine. Well then, let's be off. To Ishgard then. I wonder if it's then going to take us to Doma. Because we're only on the level 65 quest, so there's still 2 more. There'll be the one in Ishgard, and then there'll be the final one, which could be Doma. I'll admit, it's a fair bit colder than I was expecting. Oh, but she does look pretty cute in that coat. And with the mittens! The mittens! It was colder than I was expecting. Not that it's anything to be concerned about. That's easy for you to say. You'll soon get used to it, I'm sure. Anyway, it seems that instead of offering work via an adventurers guild, Ishgard's Temple Knights issue leaves. Although there do not appear to be any clients in need of protection, it's only a matter of time before something comes our way. Until then, be sure not to let your skills or your gunblade grow rusty. We Hrothgar are quite used to snow and ice, so we sometimes forget the problems it poses for other races. This morning, a homeless Hyur lad was found lying stone cold in the street. When they came to carry him away, he was frozen solid, like a statue. The poor thing can't have been more than 20 summers old. We asked the Temple Knights if there was something we could do, and we were told they had the perfect assignment for us. Our client this time is Rhys of Garlean Ironworks. Their founder, Sid Garland, is one of the few Garleans to have turned his back on the Empire, and is a hero to many living under their rule. Wonder if I might have the honour of meeting him in person. At any rate, we must head first to the Sky Steel Manufactory. And we're just gonna willfully not let anyone know that we are very familiar with Sid. Good evening. Take it you're the bodyguard sent by the Temple Knights. There's someone I'd like you to protect. A recently defected Garlean engineer, as it happens. I'll not bore you with the details, but he's to oversee the installation of a cerulean heating system. We're hoping it would avert tragedies like the one that recently occurred in the Broom. Yes, we saw the body being carried away. Terrible sight it was. If this engineer friend of yours needs safe passage here, we'd be glad to help. Unfortunately, the Empire doesn't take kindly to desertion, especially when the man in question is one of its most highly esteemed scientists. We've received word that a group known as the Ala Mhigo has been dispatched to see that he never reaches Ishgard. Gods be good. I've heard of them. Prisoners offered an opportunity to reduce their sentences through loyal service to Garlemald. By all accounts, they fight like men possessed, desperate to earn their freedom. Worst of all, they're led by Vitus Quo Messala, a man whose cruelty knows no bounds. As a soldier, he reached the rank of Pilus Prior, but was relegated after butchering a village of innocent civilians, purely to sate his own bloodlust. Even his fellow Garleans were disgusted by these barbaric acts. And that did naught to damage his reputation as a skilled warrior equal to Gaius van Baelsar himself. During my imprisonment, Vitus Quo Messala came to enlist me. I told him I'd sooner rot in jail than serve under a rabid dog like him. As you can imagine, he was far from pleased by my refusal. He tried to persuade me by using my Magitech collar to administer countless electric shocks. I'll never forget the look in his eye as he pushed that button, over and over. Of course, not everyone is as resilient as Radovan. Many who fight for Ala Mhigo do so against their will, but they are no less deadly for it. The fury. If I'd known the dangers involved, I would have called the whole thing off. It's too late now, though. The airship's already on its way to Kurthus. We should soon be arriving at the observatorium. Sadly, we couldn't gain permission to have an imperial craft dock in the city for matters of security. From the rendezvous point, we'll proceed the rest of the way on foot. Once we're safely inside the gates of judgment, we can consider the mission a success. Your friend is risking his life for the sake of others. I give my word that he shall soon reach Ishgard safely. Listen, Sophie, you know as well as I do that the Aludei are as ruthless as they are tenacious. For that reason, I want you to stay behind. You think you can take them on without me there to heal you? Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to have you by my side. But against foes like that, Arthur and I will struggle to protect you and the engineer. Protect me? Look, Radovan, we protect each other, remember? Or perhaps you see me as nothing but a burden. Fine, have it your way. Not to rush you or anything, but we should get going. I'll meet you at the airship landing on top of the tower. Before we leave, there's something I'd like to make clear. I didn't mean what I said to Sophie. I think she's an excellent conjurer, more than capable of taking care of herself. This is Vitus Quo Masala we're dealing with. A monster who delights in toying with his prey. Can't let her face that kind of danger. You see, Sophie and I have been inseparable ever since we escaped our Garlean captors. When I discovered what had befallen my family, I came close to taking my own life. Might have even gone through with it if Sophie hadn't stopped me. She's lost loved ones too. Has never given up hope. Sophie helped me realize there's still a place in this world for me. In fact, it was her idea that I became a bodyguard. Though no one will ever replace the family I lost, she helped fill that void in my life and gave me a reason to carry on. If she were here now, she'd tell me to stop being such a sentimental old fool, or words to that effect. Anyway, the sooner we finish this assignment, the sooner I can get back here and apologize to her. Oh. I sold something. And yeah, my retainers. Let's go and see them. That's pretty shit. That's even worse. There isn't really a point in teleporting anyone anywhere because it's about the same distance from here as it is from is it Camp Dragonhead? Is that what it is? It's been a while since we've been here. Yeah, Camp Dragonhead. Hello! Now that you're here, allow me to introduce you to the man you'll be escorting. Kato Na Mamula at your service. Or should that be Kato Mamula now that I'm in Ishgard? Something the matter? No, it's nothing. Master Mamula is carrying documents liberated from the Empire that could prove vital in Garland Ironworks' investigation of Omega. I mean, I suppose it makes sense, given that that was the raid tier. It just feels a bit weird that I'm done with Omega. Okay. So I probably should have done this before doing the raid tier. Whoops. This may lead to an increased likelihood of encountering Imperial pursuers, however. Well then, shall we begin? Is this going to be the guy that developed the Magitech collars or something? Because it's clear that Radovan knows him, or knows of him, at the very least. Hey, Misty, how you doing? The Aladai knew we were coming. Those bells, they must have seen that airship from miles away. I'll stay with the engineer. You go on ahead and draw him out. We'll rendezvous at the camp to the north. You forgot I told I'll miss this out or not spoil you too much. Oh yeah, because you weren't gonna watch. Yeah, you're doing pretty good. Good. I'm doing alright. I'm a bit TB. But otherwise I'm not doing too bad. Probably needed more sleep. Didn't help that I forgot to turn off my normal alarm for work. And do a sleeping stream. No. 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 But I wonder how these guys stayed hidden in Ishgard. Oh, it's been a little bit since we last had this as a mount. Little farty heart. Yeah, that's a mount from a. It was originally from an event in America to do with a chocolate brand or a candy bar brand, but then they brought it back as part of a Twitch reward for watching like X amount of Final Fantasy XIV streams. It's pretty cute, especially with the hearts. There is a similar version of it that you can get from the Gold Saucer, but that one is green rather than brown, and I don't think it has the hearts. Some of the Aladai stayed in their hiding places until you'd passed. One of them got to Reese. He's hurt, but it could have been a lot worse. I'm sorry. It caught me by surprise. We've made it this far, but Vitus is still out there. If this is just a taste of what the Aladai have in store for us, our best option is to avoid confrontation altogether. Mamula and I will sneak past him while you and Reese stay behind. The two of us stand a better chance than a group of 4. No, we should stick together. I know how you feel. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. You see the sense of this, don't you? We'll meet back in Ishgard. My colleagues will contact me via link pearl once Master Mamula has arrived in Ishgard. In the meantime, we should lie low. Don't want to alert the Aludei to our presence any more than we already have. And I'd better get these wounds looked at too. It doesn't have shit instead of hearts, no. Sophie! Thank goodness you're alright. You've been gone too long. Came looking for you. I met a few nasty characters on the way here, but I soon sent them packing. Wait, where's Radovan? And that engineer you're supposed to be escorting? Kato Nan Mamula? If the two of them are together, then Radovan never talks to anyone about it. But he came from a place called Bosya Citadel. It was utterly destroyed in a Garlean experiment gone wrong. In charge of the project were Midas Nan Garland and his right-hand man, Kato Nan Mamula. Radovan's opposition to Bosya being used as a testing ground for potentially dangerous magitech led to his imprisonment, and his fears were proved correct when the city was obliterated. There's a strong chance that he's planning to exact his revenge. We have to stop him. They headed west toward Ishgard, yeah? And we should be able to follow their tracks. There's no time to lose. Well, they shot past Ishgard, apparently. Why the fuck are they going there? It's very obviously, like, they walked past the guards of the main gate to Ishgard. For my homeland. For my family. Bosya. After? Stay back. This fiend robbed me of everything I held dear. Don't deny me my vengeance. You swore to protect him, but he's unarmed. I will not beg your forgiveness. However, I ask that you hear my final words. Midas and I knew there were risks involved with the experiment, but we did not foresee that it could fail so catastrophically. I have lived with unending, agonizing guilt ever since. From that day forth, I have sought redemption, a chance to somehow right the wrongs I have committed. That is why I asked Midas' son, Sid, to aid in my defection from Garlemald, that my knowledge and expertise may be put to good use. But I always knew that the sins of my past would return to haunt me. I submit myself to your judgment. Does the word of a gunbreaker mean nothing? What have I become? My honor as a gunbreaker, as a man, thrown it all away. He just stabbed himself by the sounds of it. You are the last of us now. He's given up on being a gunbreak. Hello. Oh no. You want us to kill him now, sir? No. The old goat can wait. It's the prowling lion I want. Yes, your head will make a fine trophy. Is Mamula alright? Where's Radovan? Wandered off. But we've still got a job to do. I dread to think what might have happened if you hadn't stopped him. Come on. With or without Radovan, we still have a job to do. Let's get Mamula to Ishgard. Oh, okay, so the level 70, fair enough. The trouble you had reaching Camp Dragonhead, pleasantly surprised that the Ala kept away from us for the remainder of the journey. Yes, fortunate indeed. All's well that ends well, as the saying goes. One thing still troubles me, though. If that Vitus Quo Masala is as ruthless as you say, doubt the walls of Ishgard will deter him from pursuing his targets. As such, Master Mamula will be closely guarded until we can be certain it's safe. Yes, it'd be a shame if I were kept from fulfilling my obligations. I hope the next time that we meet I shall have glad tidings to share. We managed to get Mamula here unharmed, but in doing so we've lost sight of Radovan. He'd be anywhere by now. But we've been through too much for me to turn my back on him now. If he decides to get his act together, he knows where to find me. Until then, we'd better be on the lookout for the Aludae. I doubt we've seen the last of them. Level 70. For better or for worse, the Aludae are nowhere to be seen. Reese and the others seem to think they've abandoned their mission and gone back to Garlemald, which I highly doubt. For them, failure simply isn't an option. What I want to know is, where is Radovan? I've a good mind to pack up and leave him here, or at least find somewhere warmer to wait for him. There's one thing I can't bear, it's standing about doing nothing, especially somewhere as bitterly cold as this. I know, let's go and ask the Temple Knights if they have any work for us. Just trying to find distractions, I guess. I can understand. What took you so long? Already been and spoken to them. Anyway, there's a client looking for protection, but they wish to remain anonymous. We're supposed to meet them in a place called Twin Pools, which is in Western Kurthus, apparently. Seeing as we have nothing better to do, we may as well go and find out what they want. It should pass the time until Radovan comes back, if nothing else. Do I have a teleport? No, but I do have a teleport this way. Oh, one of the issues of having a mustache is when you're drinking from hands with a pull top. Sometimes your mustache can get caught by the tab. Doesn't feel great. Feel great. But okay, so this will get me the only skill that I don't have access to that isn't level 100, I believe. Which is continuation, which just unlocks like an extended Gnashing Fang combo, I think. But then I'll basically have access to the full, well, almost full Gunbreaker moveset. And then we'll get started on Dancer, which I haven't leveled up nearly as much. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I'm still going to be high enough level to get all of the job quests up to 70 done. I mean, I could do all the ones up to 80, but we've not actually started Shadowbringers yet. Who are you? My prayers have been answered. I was beginning to think the Temple Knights had forgotten about me. I do hope you'll forgive my need for secrecy. The nature of my request is very sensitive, you see. Now, if you'd be so kind as to follow me. What the fuck? I can't break free. Wriggle all you want, little fly. Nothing escapes my web. But 'twould be a shame for you to die without knowing the name of the spider who ensnared you. I am Vitus Quo Messala, commander of the Alude. When we came to collect that old goat who had strayed from the herd, I never expected to find a prowling lion. Or should I say, warrior of light. There are many in Garlemald who would be delighted were I to present your course, and I doubt that restoring me to Pilus Prior will suffice. No, Legatus would be far more fitting. Vitus Van Messala has such a wonderful ring to it. Yes, so close I can almost taste it. Your tale ends here. Hey, Radovan. Good timing. I like this music. Radovan, where in the bloody hell have you been? Tracking the Alude. That's how I knew they'd come after. prisoner 1441, if I'm not mistaken. First, you refuse my kind offer, then you have the audacity to escape. And now this. Whatever am I to do with you? You're not the only one with a few tricks up his sleeve, Vitus. When we first encountered the Alude, I noticed the collars they were wearing. I had one myself not so long ago. This must be your way of maintaining discipline. I took one of them to Mamula, who engineered a device similar to yours. How ironic that the very collars you're so fond of could be turned against you. Was that necessary? Worthless dogs. Of course, I never needed the Alude or those Magitech traps to slay the likes of you. But I prefer to leave nothing to chance. No matter. We'll just have to settle this the old-fashioned way. Speaking of which, where did you find those antiques? If you think they can compare to a Garlean gunblade, you're wrong. Very wrong. As much as I wish to fight him alone, there's more at stake here than my pride. We must rid the world of this beast once and for all. After, Sophie, follow my lead. Never hope to master a technique that has obvious weak spots and blind spots. Oh no. Oh no, Sophie. Sophie, move! Move, Sophie! Oh, I can't target him. Oof. Dedication. he gonna do anything fucky? So difficult. Why do I deny my true purpose? I exist only to further his legacy. Like, what can I do? Please just die. Thank you. That wasn't terrible, but it just felt like it went on longer than it needed to. I never thought I'd live to see the day that Vitus Quo Missala met his match. You are a better gunbreaker than I ever was. That, for what it's worth, I'm sorry for all the trouble I've put you both through. You're sorry? You should bloody well hope so too, you great oaf. What were you thinking, threatening Mamula like that? Not to mention leaving us to escort him to Ishgard? When After found me and Mamula, I noticed the Alade watching us from a nearby clifftop. I thought it was strange that they'd pass up the opportunity to attack us, so I made it appear as though I'd abandoned you and started following them in secret. I discovered their primary target was now the Warrior of Light, not Kato Mamula. The scouts saw you on the way to Camp Dragonhead and reported it to Vitus, who then called off the ambush to see for himself if the information was valid. Powerful as he was, he would never show his hand unless he was certain of victory, so he waited to make his move. One thing I did know for certain is that even if the three of us fought together, we wouldn't stand a chance against the full might of the Alade. That was when I decided to consult our fugitive engineer. We talked into the early hours of the morning until we reached an understanding, and then he agreed to construct the Magitech control device. In order for the plan to work, I would have to remain hidden until the very last moment, even from the two of you. I thought you needed time alone to think about what you'd done. The remorse I felt for dishonoring myself was no act. When I realized Mamula's identity, I wanted to confront him about Bosnia. I needed to get him away from you and Reese. I never had any intention of killing him. All I wanted was for him to admit to his crimes. And it still gave me a sick sense of satisfaction to see him on his knees, defeated. That is when I knew I'd betrayed the ideals of the Gunbreaker. I had abandoned my honor. I want to thank you for guiding me back to the true path. With Vitus gone, any remaining members of the Alade are free of his control, and are likely to be treated as fugitives running from the Empire. In any case, I think it is safe for Mamula to come out of hiding now. Oh. probably going to be best if I... Yeah. Oh boy, you had some dogfight in the house. What? Allow me to express my gratitude for vanquishing the Alude, which I understand was due in no small part to Radovan's marvellous idea involving the Magitech collars. I'm glad to hear the device I cobbled together functioned as intended. Yes, we couldn't have done it without you. Vitus alone pushed the three of us to our limits. Had the Alude joined the fight, things would have ended very differently. We owe you our lives. All things considered, it was the least I could do. A remarkably simple matter, in fact, compared to my next endeavour, the installation of Ishgard's ceruleum heating system. While I may never be able to adequately repay the kindness I've been shown, we must begin somewhere. Until we meet again. Since I first met you, I knew you had the potential to become a gunbreaker. As the only one of my clan to escape the destruction of the Bosnia citadel, I thought the art of the gunblade would die with me. Now that I've passed on all I know to you, my successor, I feel that there is little for you to gain from taking on assignments with us. Yeah, we can hardly expect the Warrior of Light to spend valuable time assisting us with our money-making schemes. Before we part ways, however, there is one last place I would like to visit with you. I heard that a great many adventurers who hope to make a name for themselves head to Revenant's Toll. I imagine there'll be plenty to keep us busy. But more than anything, I'm hoping to find others to whom I can impart the teachings of my clan. Once people see you with your gunblade strapped to your back, I'm sure it'll pique their curiosity. So will you come with us? I mean, why not introduce you to the Scions? I'm sure that some gunbreakers among the force would be most helpful. Oh, thank God they teleported us. I must confess, we would have struggled to find the place without you. Yeah, when I first heard about a remote settlement populated almost entirely by adventurers and the like, I was expecting it to be a lot more lawless and chaotic. Knife fights over card games, that sort of thing. What a pleasant surprise it turned out to be. With a little luck, I'll find candidates to train as gunbreakers, though it goes against the traditions of my clan to teach outsiders. Meeting yous proved to me that we were being overly cautious. You see, the gunblade is forged for one purpose: to protect. We fear that its techniques would fall into the hands of those who seek to oppress and conquer, such as the Garleans and the Alligans before them. Centuries of being beset by enemies on all sides taught us to fear and mistrust those not of our clan. And it's why we kept our art such a closely guarded secret. But when you came to our rescue that day, you acted without a thought for your own safety to aid those in need. This is the true essence of the Gunbreaker. You have your own ideals to protect, your own promises to keep. Go forth after, and follow your path, wherever it may lead. Okay, so we don't get an armor set. That would be from the level 80 quest, I guess. Oh, okay. And there isn't going to be another quest until 80. Because of the way that they've moved away from doing job quests and they now do role quests instead. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, we now have continuation. Which I kind of want to see what that looks like. But I might struggle to do that, because everything here will die. Yeah. Could go... I go to Ala Mhigo. Because I need to be able to at least start Gnashing Fang. And then it's basically you do the Gnashing Fang combo. So you do the step of Gnashing Fang, then you do continuation, I think. Oh, and it also works on Fated Circle. And Burst Strike. Okay, so there's a few times when I might use it. Okay. It's not just Gnashing Fang, it is a continuation of other combos. But it's basically any time that I would use one of my charges, I get to use it. Oh yeah, I forgot I have Double Down as well, because I've not used that. So okay, we've got Gnashing Fang, which goes into Jugular Rip. Oh, but I don't have long. To be able to use it. But then I also have Abdomen Tear. Eye Gouge. Hypervelocity. Okay. So I think the only one it doesn't continue from, at least yet, is Double Down. What's the... Okay. Fated Brand is another AoE. Ooh, I like the animation for that one. Okay. Alright. Because, yeah, enhanced continuation I have a couple of times. Awesome. Okay. Well, that's cool. Now I'll forget all of that, because I'm not going to play Gunbreaker for a while. Until level 80, probably. Or until I can do the level 80 job quest. Okay, Gambling for Gil is down by the fishing area. Alright. What's the best way to get there from here? Probably... Oh, is it up? No, it's there, isn't it? Yeah, okay. I really should work on some physical ranged. Oh, that's cute. almost looks like a game of Space Invaders. I should really work on some glams for Physical Ranger, because like that is obviously Dancer. Feels like the dogs went crazy today. They attack each other aggressively and not in a playful way. Oh no. You're too old for this. I hope they're both alright. Hello. I've trained many a dancer in my day. I cannot recall ever having seen the crystal take to one of our new recruits so quickly. Truly, there is prodigious talent within you just waiting to be untapped. Never seen anything like it either. Why, at this rate, she might even be able to challenge me for the position of Troop Falsium's Rising Star. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Rana. But yes, with After in our ranks, our ultimate goal might be at long last within our reach. Before that, however, I should share with you the full details of our planned itinerary. As I may have mentioned, we've travelled to these shores with two purposes: to share our time-honoured art with the Eorzeans far and wide, and in doing so to do our part to help heal any lingering scars left by the calamity. Limsa Lominsa here was the first stop on our tour of the realm. This leaves us with 4 destinations: Ul'dah, Bredania, Ishgard, and finally Ala Mhigo. And yet, Ishgard is still dealing with the repercussions of the Dragonsong War, and Ala Mhigo has but recently been liberated from their Garlean masters. I believe it would be best to put off our performances in those nations until such time as we can be sure our presence will be welcome. And so, by process of elimination, the next 2 destinations in our tour are all but decided. However, there is another important matter we must attend to before we set off. Finding ourselves a patron willing to sponsor our jaunt across the realm, yeah? Precisely. With what little coin remains in our coffers after the long journey, we can scarce afford to put on humble productions, like the one After just witnessed. We must find someone who will spare no expense in helping us bring our art to every corner of Eorzean. Dekaruju? Fortunately, I have learned of someone who might be suited to that role. An acquaintance of mine in these lands, a songstress no less, introduced me to an influential merchant who considers it his life's work to promote daring new forms of creative expression, the realm over. The man in question has all but agreed to fund our tour, on one condition: we must grace him with a private performance, and he must deem it to be a true artistic revolution, unlike anything he's seen before. An artistic revolution? That sounds like an awfully tall order. Indeed it is. After all, an aesthete of such renown has surely seen a Near Eastern dance or two in his day. So I asked myself, what could we possibly show this man that would truly awe and inspire him? Long did I struggle to come up with an answer, but no longer. After, you will take the stage with Rana and transform into a full-fledged dancer before this man's very eyes. Yes, I call it a flower blooms on the battlefield. Yes, it's all coming to me now. For the final act, Rana here will play the role of a formidable foe, unleashing a fearsome array of steps and twirls against you. You'll fend them off, retaliating with flourishes of your own in a dramatic dance battle for the ages. After and I taking the stage together. My tail is tingling with excitement just thinking about it. And through our battle, we'll show our would-be patron that our art is more than just for show. Why, it's positively perfect! I know it's your first performance, but you needn't worry. Nashmira and I will be right there with you. Just follow our lead, let the music carry you, and I'm sure our performance will knock this bigwig merchant's socks off. Renar speaks true. I would not have invited you into our ranks if I did not believe, if I did not know you were capable of what I ask. And so, let us not delay any further. Our audience awaits us in a place called... yes, Costa del Sol. How's it going, Yorha? Number 4 type H. Which part of that do I focus on? How you doing? Costa del Sol, there we go. Oh, hey Fry. You just rebranded your name yourself on a new name. Fair enough. Keeping me on my toes. Excellent. The 2 rising stars are here, and we can finally get the show on the road. But first, we should pay our respects to our patron-to-be, Master Gagaruju. Come with me. Master Gagaruju, it is a pleasure and an honor to be invited to your lovely estate. I am Nashmira, leader and principal dancer of Troupe Falsium, and I stand before you today with 2 of my most promising protégés. Yes, welcome and all. Oh, take me, is that you, Titan's Bane? Moonlighting as a dancer these days, are you? I must admit, I thought adventuring was more lucrative than that. Mind you, when you're wealthy as me, the best is a given. No, I won't be content with merely a masterful performance. I want to see something daring, something profound, something the likes of which this realm has never seen. I trust you're up to the task. We would let your eyes be the judge of that, Master Gagaruju. For today, Costa del Sol will be the venue for the inaugural performance of Troupe Falsium's newest production. I call it Flower Blooms on the Battlefield. Okay, am I actually going to have to fight her? Alright. Your very first performance, and already you're taking center stage. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Your first opponent will be a training mannequin designed specifically to hone an aspiring dancer's skills. Breathe deeply, move with purpose, and it'll be a breeze. At the same time, always remember that the Kriegstanz is a dance of war. I know you are among friends here, but I want you to imagine yourself on the battlefield, leaping and twirling through a legion of foes. Now let's knock this Master Gagaruju out of his 100,000 gilt stockings. I'm ready when you are. That's it. That fire in your eyes. This is the chance of our lifetimes. So let the same passion burn in your heart and hold nothing back. Let the curtain rise. He's not wearing stockings. You still lack for experience, this I know, but take heart, for I've crafted this performance specifically to draw out your innate talent. step by precious step. Follow my lead, and you will feel yourself transforming into a full-fledged dancer before you know it. Lose yourself in the music. Let the passion in your heart take over, and you will move as you have never moved before. Yes, you are the flower on this battlefield, and today you will blossom. I'm in an event. Are you ready, After? First, you want to execute what we call a closed position. Once you've chosen a partner, you'll be able to invigorate them through your dancing. Are you ready? Trust me. Follow my lead and Gegaruju will be all but putty in your hand. Splendid! Now let's show Gegaruju what you can do. Our apologies for the delay, Master Gegaruju. Without further ado, behold. Finally, it's time for the show. This had best be all I've heard of it. No pressure, eh? Alright, let's begin with the basics. Commence your dance. Make 2 standard steps and then top it off with a double standard finish. So this is the famed Troupe Falsium. Perhaps your reputation was well deserved. That's it. Can you feel the power welling up within you? Now, it's my turn. Can you feel the strength surging within you? Just like this, you and your partner inspire each other. We're just getting warmed up, aren't we? Gegaruju wants to see more. Simply astounding. I never knew that Eastern dance was so alluring. Not bad at all. You must show me more. More, I say. See, Master Gegaruju is warmed up to you. Next, show him what you can do. Something. Behold, my protege will now put on a show with this dancing doll. From here, you must dance to your own rhythm. Elegant and deadly. Yes, I do believe I've approved. That's what I call dancing. Trust you're enjoying the show, and now we present the grand finale. A duel of 2 dancers, you say? Now that's what I came to see. Feeling it now, Mr. Gegaruju? I didn't realize there was stuff back there. Gotcha. Oh, and he exploded all over us. Are you sure that was your first time up on stage? I could swear I was watching a veteran up there. Couldn't take my eyes off of you for a moment. But hey, my moves were nothing to sneeze at either, right? Of course, all the flashy lights were just for show. I set them up beforehand, just to liven up our performance, you know? But enough about me. This was your day to shine. If that meant me playing the villain for a day, so be it. I'm just proud to have played my part in helping your talents bloom. That's the kind of attitude that we need to have for artists. Build each other up. Don't compete and put each other down. Rivalries are fine, but do it healthily. Says the guy that can't do pretty much anything competitive. And would be the first person to put themselves down. Do as I say, not as I do. Now that was a sight to behold. A bold young woman taking on one fearsome foe after the next, and transforming into a masterful dancer before my very eyes. Yes, I do believe I've not seen anything quite like it. Your words do us great honor, Master Gegaruju. Might we also count on you to loosen your purse strings and sponsor Troop Falsium on our tour across your fair realm? It is true, of course, that your troop deserves a far wider audience, and yet your performance moved me so that I just couldn't bear to part with you so soon. I must say, I found myself particularly smitten with the young kitten who played the villain's role. Renard, was it? Perhaps I could interest you in signing a contract to be one of my personal dancers. I can promise that it would be a lucrative one. Why, you flatter me, Master Gegaruju, but I fear I am still in training. I can't very well leave Miss Nashmira's side until our tour is complete. That's so now. No, this simply won't do. Why, I'm afraid your rejection has so devastated me that I simply don't have it in me to fund your little excursion after all. You little bitch. You can't be serious. You gave us your word. Won't take no for an answer. Whatever should we do? You are altering the deal? What's that supposed to mean? Stop looking at me like that. You're scaring me. I jest, I say. I never took you dancers to be such a bloody serious lot. I meant only to express how utterly enthralled I was by your fearless performance. You've provided me with precisely the sort of bold and audacious artistic revolution I sought. As per our deal, I am more than happy to offer you the financial backing you so clearly deserve. We are most grateful, Master Gegaruju. Truly, your aesthetic sensibilities are matched only by your boundless generosity. By your leave, we shall begin preparing for our forthcoming performance in Uldar. Wait, I say. I mean, if I might make just one small request. I ask not that you sign an exclusive contract, only that one of you sojourn here as my honoured guest, and entertain me for a spell. In return, in addition to my patronage, I promise that I will deliver you a personal letter of recommendation to the Syndicate on your behalf. Well, I do believe that sounds like a mutually beneficial arrangement. In that case, Master Gegaruju, you may have the pick of any of my troop, excepting after, of course. Then the deal is done. Yes, I would be more than content with the lovely Miss Rana here. Leave the negotiations with the Syndicate to me. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing every move in your repertoire. The pleasure is mine, Master Gegaruju, and please introduce me to your personal dancing girls as well. I'm sure there's so much they could teach me about the art of dance in Eorzean. Whew, I was worried there for a moment, but all's well that ends well. I'll go and share the good news with the others. Great, come along if you'd like. One second. I need me a beverage. And to be honest, as well as needing a drink, I should pop to the toilet. So I'll be right back. Waited again? Yeah. All right. When Gegaruju started insisting on taking Rana from us, thought all our efforts were for naught. But it seems we've come away with everything we bargained for, and then some. And it's all thanks to you. It really was quite remarkable how he changed his tune after you gave him just a single glance. Clearly, you possess remarkable powers of persuasion. At any rate, I suppose a short sojourn here could benefit us all. Rana seems eager to get to know the dancers here, and I must attend to administrative tasks before our next performance. In the meantime, why don't you put your newfound skills to the test? I suspect you'll be quite pleased with how well they serve you. You head out again, driving simulator time on the way to driver's license. Yeah. Fair enough. Hope it all goes well. I need to... Once... There's a bunch of stuff that I need to get sorted out. But in the new year, I'm going to try and pick up... I need to do a new theory test. So I'll need to do a theory test for the third time. But then I need to get some driving lessons in again and try and finally get my license. Well, if it isn't my star pupil, you couldn't have come at a better time. A messenger just arrived. It would appear that Master Gegaruju has received a response from his friends in the Sultanate. As for the details, he would deliver them to us in person. Why don't you go on ahead to his villa? I'll fetch Rana and be along shortly. We call him this a villa? Well, if it isn't my second favourite dancer. Good news, my girl. Thanks to the highest recommendation of yours truly, my friends at the Syndicate would be more than happy to host one of your performances in Uldar. You have our deepest gratitude, Master Gegaruju. Truly, your generosity knows no bounds. Think nothing of it. Your performance gave me a thrill I'll not soon forget, and while I'd love nothing more than to keep you all to myself, I'd be remiss if I didn't share my most remarkable discovery with the rest of the realm. That goes for you in particular, my lovely Rana. You may be a bit rough around the edges, but that just adds to your untamed, dare I say, feral allure. Nothing would make me happier than to go down in history as the man who introduced your beauty to Eorzean. Why, Master Gegaruju, you're making me blush. Yeah, foul take me, I simply can't bear the thought that you'd perform on my stage for the last time. You'll grace me with one final farewell performance, won't you? Surely, after all I've done for you. Our apologies, Master Gegaruju, but we must not keep our audience in the Sultanate waiting. After all, this is but the second stop on our journey, a journey we must see through to the end. And besides, while your words do Rana and us all great honour, I would remind you the girl is still an apprentice. Excess praise can lead to overconfidence, overconfidence to carelessness, and carelessness to an untimely fall. Do you hear me, Rana? No matter what glowing words your admirers may heap upon you, remember that your journey as a dancer has only just begun. Keep your feet planted firmly on the ground, lest you stumble on the road to achieving your full potential. But of course, and yet it's still truly inspiring to have such a devoted fan, is it not? Why, it helps me appreciate just how much I've blossomed as a dancer in such a short time. I do not mean to make light of your achievements. I ask only that you stay focused on the task at hand. Continue to hone your craft, and not let yourself get swept away by unchecked emotion. And with that, we should be taking our leave. Master Gegaruju, we thank you for your patronage and hospitality. When our business in Eorzean is done, we will return to fully express our gratitude. You need not feel compelled to travel with the troop. I trust that you have matters of your own that you would attend to along the way. We shall await you in Uldar. probably should have checked where in Uldar before I left the Aetheryte. Yeah, because I could have fast traveled. Uldar is always the one, though. Always the one that I navigate poorly. So this is Uldar, Jewel of the Desert. We're not here to see the sights, no. We must decide upon a suitable venue for our next performance. As a matter of fact, I already have an idea. I was thinking we might put on a show in Stone's Throw, a settlement outside of town said to be home to the poor and downtrodden. Are you sure of this, Mistress Nashmira? I agree the arts should be enjoyed by the lowborn as well as the high, but is some glorified shantytown truly the best place for us to find an audience here? I would have it no other way. Now listen to me, and listen carefully. You will recall that I told you that our creek stance has the unique power to clear hearts and minds of worries, and lift the spirits of all who behold it. Put another way, bringing joy and succor to the scorned and the suffering is no less than our calling to life. In Limsa as well, our audience included many who were down on their luck, and yet it did not seem those troubles weighed so heavily in their hearts. Mayhap this is a remnant of their pirate heritage, a flagon of ale in hand and a song on their lips, and all their cares fade away. Uldar is different. Here I feel the scars of the calamity run deeper, particularly among those who lack the coin needed to rebuild their lives to their satisfaction. Stone's Throw it will be. I can think of no place more in need of what we offer. You there! Halt! Halt, I say! You're the dancing troupe that's come at the invitation of the Syndicate, yeah? On the authority of the Brass Blades, we command you to desist at once. Fear not, you done naught wrong. It's just, well, Stone's Throw's not safe for visitors these days, you see. A group of real rabble-rousers have been causing trouble of late. You know how it is. Protests, riots, and all sorts of unpleasant business. Of course, their anger's targeted directly at Uldar's upper crust. Like as not, they'd leave you a troupe of performers. Still, the Syndicate cannot accept the risk of its honoured guests suffering an untimely injury, or worse. We appreciate your concern, but I can assure you it's wholly unnecessary. All members of my troupe are well trained in the art of self-defense. We are more than capable of taking care of ourselves. That's right. Besides, healing suffering and strife across the realm is precisely the reason we've come here. Whatever sort of struggle your people face, why not let us look into the matter and see if we can't resolve it? It is a gracious offer, but no. Keeping the peace is our sworn duty, and one we cannot simply impose on guests. Besides, we are trained soldiers, and you are not. For your own safety, you should take your leave of this place at once. I'm more than just a dancer, you know. An adventurer, and one who knows her way around Uldar, you say? Perhaps you are fit to investigate the matter after all. Very well then, you and your friends may carry on. Just promise you won't go looking for trouble, eh? Mistress Nashmira, leave this to me. I'll dance up a storm for these poor folks, calm their hearts and put an end to any riots or uprisings. I admire your spirit, Rana, and yet I cannot shake the sense that great danger does indeed lurk here. You may go, but only if After accompanies you, and you must promise that you will not leave her side. Alright, the more the merrier, don't you agree? Let's make for Stone's Throw. I'll race you there. Stone's Throw It's just outside the gates of Nald. Okay. Oh, there you are. Let's get started, shall we? Our first task is to figure out just who's behind these riots. Why don't we split up, ask around, and see what turns up? Don't tell me you're worried about that silly promise I made to Mistress Nashmira. Come now. Clearly she worries over much. You saw me on this stage. I look like someone who can't take care of herself. Now, let's see what the townspeople can tell us. Meet back here when we're both done, alright? She is still a scantily clad Makote. Riots? Aye, there's been some trouble here of late. Won't catch me dead getting myself involved. Whoever's behind it will wish he'd just bugger off and give us some peace and quiet for once. Of course, that doesn't stop those brass blades from glaring at me askance every time they come through the neighbourhood. Not that I can blame them, I suppose. Rumour has it the true culprit's an expert in throwing the authorities off his trail. Looking for some rabble-rousing rioter, you say? I might know a thing or two. What's it to you? None of us here in Stone's Throw have much love for the rich. This much is true. Still, it wasn't till lately when someone started talking about actually giving them their due. Thought they were just talking big, but lately it seems they've been putting their plot into action. Hey, you there. You friends with the Makote girl? The one with the fancy dress? She was asking about the riots, you know? Well, would you believe I actually saw her talking to one of the blackguards responsible for it all? Last thing I saw, he was leading her away somewhere. I'd go after her if I were you. Well, I wouldn't. Never had the nerve for that sort of thing. But I reckon you should, before the poor thing comes to harm. Ooh, but I get to do it at level 80. Riding a Yeti. Yes, that was Eldthurs, which is a fire Yeti that you get from Eureka. But you have to be very lucky and do some treasure hunting stuff to have a chance of. So you have to do like a in-game event that spawns every like 10-15 minutes or whatever the fuck. You have to do that to get a treasure hunter buff so you can go and find a treasure at one of these random spots across the map. And then when you reach the treasure, it has a chance of giving you bronze, silver, or gold chests. If you get the gold chest, you then have a chance of getting that mount in the chest. Quite rare to get gold. And it's then quite rare to get the mount in the gold. So it's a pretty rare mount. But people deliberately farm it. So you can buy it on the market board. Which is actually what I did. Because I was just having no luck trying to get it, to be honest. And I'd the same chests that you get from the treasure hunt, they give you guaranteed money. You get, I think it's 10,000, 50,000, or 100,000 gil, depending on if it's bronze, silver, or gold. So even if you don't get the mount, if you get enough gold chests, or if you do enough chests, you can earn the money to just buy it on the market board, which is basically what I did. I had done so many treasure hunts that I just had enough money to buy them outright and say fuck it. Oh, Arthur, you really saved my skin. This man told me he'd take me to the riotous hideout. He led me here and then, well, to be honest, I'm still unsure entirely what I witnessed. It was the strangest thing. As soon as he brought me here, his body began to sway and spin in the strangest way. I didn't know better, I'd say he was dancing. We can talk about that when we're back in safer environs. I should probably summon the brass blades and file an official report. Meanwhile, could you return to the city and let Mistress Nashmira know I'm alright? And tell her I'm sorry for breaking my word. This way, yeah. You're not wrong that mounts are generally rare in most games. But in Final Fantasy XIV, that depending on the mount, some of them can be quite easy to get in comparison. Especially if it's old content, because you could maybe farm them unsynced with high-level people, and it'll only take, you know, half an hour in order to get a mount. Like, some of the mounts that I really like, so that one is from doing the Baldessian Arsenal, which is the end of Eureka, which is a difficult raid, but there are Discord groups and stuff that basically they will carry you through it and do their best to make sure that you get it. So that one's not... The hardest part of getting that is leveling up in Eureka, which takes a while. This is from one of the Savage raids for Stormblood. But I was able to solo it with a level 98 character, and you could very easily form a party to do it, and it would be even easier because you just get a few people that are higher level and it'll die in like a minute. That's from a fate that you can farm. So the hardest part of that is just finding the fate, but there are discords that will let you know when it's up. That one is from doing PvP and just winning 10 times, I think it was, but I quite like that one. That's from a fate that... this is from an extreme that is relatively easy to farm, and there's usually a bunch of people going for it, so it's not that difficult to find. That's the one that you saw, that's from Eureka, and you can also just buy it on the market board. And it's basically the same thing, but from one of the later areas in Eureka, but you could also just buy that on the market board. That's the one from Animos, but that's a lot easier to get because of where you get it from. I also really like the Cloud Mallow, which is from just doing Reputation with the Moogles. That's the Savage mount for the Alexander raids, same as that one. They're both... I don't really like this one. I think it looks weird, but I don't mind the Gobwalker. That one's kind of cool. And then there's some that you just get through events and stuff, so it's not that difficult for older content especially to just get someone to help you. Like, you've got the party finder. Oops. You got the party finder, so like literally you just say what you want to do and why, and someone will join it. Usually pretty quickly, and you can always travel to a in this case I'm playing on the Chaos data center, which means that if I was to put one of those up, everyone on that data center, which is effectively the server, can see it and join it. But also I can travel to the other server for Europe, which has a more active like raiding community on it. And so if I don't have anyone that wants to do it with me on this server, I can just hop to the other server and do it there as well. It's really, really not difficult to get a lot of the mounts and stuff if you just ask for some help. I see. I had a feeling this would happen. Do not blame yourself. You are not her keeper. I'll deal with the girl myself when she returns. That said, I'm curious. What can you tell me of this strange dance she says her would-be captors were performing? Sounds like they were drunk. Good news, friends. Thanks to your efforts, we've apprehended the Firebrand. Peace should return to Stone's Throw for now, at least until the next rabble-rouser decides to fan the flames. Still, there's one part of the story that does not sit well with me. The girl here claims she saw her captors dancing, but those we took into custody swear to the last man they remember no such thing. They deny that they were dancing, but why ever would they feel the need to lie about something so innocuous when already convicted of a far more heinous crime? Is it going to be like a Pied Piper situation? It's not precisely a lie. You see, from here the tale gets even stranger. They claim to have a vague recollection of their bodies moving, but insist they had absolutely no intention of doing so. They went on to say they couldn't even remember where or why they came up with the idea to riot in the first place. On the contrary, they seemed almost relieved, just as if some evil spirit had been banished from them. Sounds like our friends have been partaking in a particularly unstable and unsavory alchemical concoction. At any rate, the Brass Blades will be taking over the investigation from here. Thank you for your assistance, and please, carry on with the preparations for your performance with our blessing. I'm sorry, Mistress Nashmira. You should have stayed with After, like you said. Together, I'm sure we could have worked things out peacefully. In the end, I was not even able to dance a single step. Just as the Kriegstance can enthrall and inspire, so can it serve us in battle. A true dancer must be prepared for both possibilities at all times. After was able to display her skills as a dancer in battle today, and I suspect it is for that very reason that your would-be captors... but never mind. Renard, you disappoint me. It is not a lack of dancing prowess that led to your failure today. It was overconfidence that led you to stray from your partner's side. When Troop Falsium dances, we dance as one. We dance to stir hearts and lift spirits, not merely to show off our skills. That our admirers might shower us with empty praise. Thought you understood this, but it is clear that you still have much to learn. I'm sorry, Mistress Nashmira. I promise I will not repeat my mistakes. Forgive me for making you suffer the girl's foolishness. Though she has grown in skill, it is clear she is still a child in more ways than one. I can only hope that she will take today's lesson to heart, lest she eventually pay the price. that not going a bit too far? Being a true dancer is about more than knowing how to move one's feet. I must be tougher on Rana than anyone, lest Troop Falsium fail to carry out its true duty, its sworn duty. I can see you're confused by my words. Do not worry. All will become evident in due time. Yes, both you and Rana will understand all too well. And with that, I must prepare for our forthcoming performance. This time, I will be asking Rana to take the stage alone. She may consider it her opportunity to reflect upon her actions today, and God's willing, learn and grow from her missteps. Meanwhile, perhaps it would be best for you too to return to your training. If you and Rana truly mean to bring out the best in one another, both of you will need to work harder than ever before. Farewell for now, and let us meet up again when it's time to move on. Now, I do believe it's time I did some investigating of my own. It's good to see you. You'll be pleased to hear that our exhibition in the Sultanate was a rousing success. Rana gave quite the inspired performance. It would seem the girl has indeed taken her lessons to heart. That leaves Gridania as the final stop on our three-nation tour. I meant to depart immediately, but I must confess the curious developments in Uldar have given me pause. Upon our arrival, let us first pay a visit to the Adder's Nest and inquire as to any strange happenings about town. Do not ask me why, but I believe it's best we stay vigilant. Ew. After, sorry to say, my fears appear to have been well founded. Gridania too has seen its fair share of social unrest of late. Pray, explain the situation to my colleagues, good sir. You're familiar with the Duskwhite, yeah? Or a clan at Eorzean who eschew the shackles of urban life and instead choose to live in isolation. For the most part, both sides choose to leave the other well enough alone. Recently, however, events have taken a troubling turn. Groups of Duskwights have been assembling for reasons unknown, holding secret gatherings on the outskirts of the forest. Whatever their aim, we can be quite certain that it's nothing good. The Twin Adders content to let them be provided they do us no harm. But when they turn to thieving and threatening our way of life, we cannot simply turn a blind eye. To say that tensions between the Duskwights and our citizens have been rising would be an understatement. To this point, troublemakers among the Duskwhite have primarily acted alone, which makes the manner in which they are now plotting something together in plain sight all the more concerning. Some here in the nest even believe they're sowing the seeds for a violent uprising. As fortune would have it, these Duskwhite rabble-rousers have recently been sighted with particular frequency in the immediate vicinity of the venue where I had hoped to hold our performance. Needless to say, we must address the immediate danger before we can even think of going forward with our performance. After, Rana, what say we investigate the matter? Together this time. Consider it done. I'll make up for my failure, just you watch me. Once I've soothed the Duskwights' hearts with my dance, rioting will be the furthest thing from their minds. Thank you, friends. That settles it then. Leave the matter of the Duskwhite demagogues to my colleagues here. I suppose there would be some merit in delegating the task to you, rather than risk fanning the flames between the Duskwights and our own citizens. And yet, you are a dance troupe, are you not? Are you certain your friends here are up to the task of suppressing an armed revolt? You can be assured they are. For what it's worth, I too will be accompanying Rana and After to ensure that everything's in order. Besides, there's something I would confirm with my own eyes. And with that, we should be on our way. The Duskwights in question are said to be congregating in South Shroud. Let us meet first at the local tavern and formulate a plan of attack. Okay. Do I have... I think I can get to Central Shroud and North, but not to South. Yeah. In that case... I'm lazy. Wrong way. According to one of the regulars here, the Duskwight troublemakers were seen not long ago just to the northeast of here. And that's not all. A rumour says that they were, and I quote, gyrating and undulating in a most curious way. Whatever it was that we witnessed in Thanalan, it seems likely it's afflicted the people here as well. We must investigate the matter with all speed. Come now. Mistress Nashmira, I think I saw something. Over there, behind the bushes. That... almost looks like... airbending or something. Or really lazy Tai Chi. That's it. That's the creepy dance I saw in Uldar. The Dance of the Damned. It's just as I feared. I'll explain everything in good time. For the moment, just leave them alone. Leave them to me, rather. Begone, meddlers. Leave us to our dancing. What in the... my legs? They have a mind of their own. Oh, fuck. Mistress Nashmira, look out! A bit late. Oh, cool, but I don't have to... I don't have to get level thing. Forgive me, and thank you. And to think I was scolding poor Rana for her overconfidence. In my heyday, I would have made short work of that thing. Alas, those days are long behind me. Don't be too hard on yourself, Mistress Nashmira. We all have our bad days. And besides, it's not as if you were just being reckless like me. But never mind that. What in the world did I just see? That creepy dance, that strange cloud of black ether. What does all of this mean? Come now. I know you know more than you'd let on. I do, and I fully intend to share my knowledge with you, once I've seen what I must see with my own two eyes. In the meantime, someone should hand over these men to the Twin Adders. I suppose you're right. We must treat your wounds as well. After, could I ask you to return to the Adder's Nest and deliver our report? I'll tend to Mr. Nashmira's scratches and see that no other troublemaking Duskwights show up. Okay, back to Gridania then. Oh, wait, I'm blind. What's this? You apprehended the Duskwight miscreants for us? Splendid. On behalf of all of Gridania, you have our gratitude. We'll dispatch a unit to the South Shroud at once. My apologies for the delay. I'm pleased to report that our dancing Duskwight friends have been handed over to the proper authorities, and Renan patched up my wounds good as new. With sufficient rest, I should be back on the stage in no time. Not on my watch, you won't. I mean, pray do not overexert yourself, Mistress Nashmira. You need your rest. I told you I could have handed over the culprits myself. I know, Ron, and yet I wanted to be there myself when they woke. It played out exactly as I expected. They remembered little or nothing about their dancing, their secret gatherings, or any of the conversations that led up to it at all. Just being stubborn, no doubt. Worry not, friends. The Twin Adder will carry out a proper interrogation. And yet, one thing concerns me. Is it true these events bear a striking similarity to a situation you witnessed in Uldar? What we've witnessed is none other than the Tottentans, a dance of the damned. It's our God's given duty as dancers to see that it is never danced again. Dance of the damned? Our mission? Whatever are you rambling about, Mistress Nashmira? I thought our mission was to lend strength and succor to the suffering and lift the spirits of the realm. That it is. And yet the truth of exactly what this entails runs far deeper. Throughout our storied history, the dancers of Troop Falsium have saved countless lands time and again from a fate most dire. When war and calamity ravage the land, fear and anger fill men's hearts. These emotions fester, reacting with the ether around us. In the air we breathe, the ground beneath our feet, to form an etheric manifestation of melee that spreads like a dark cloud across the land. The weak, the downtrodden, the scorned and suffering. Suddenly, it is these people who are oft the quickest to fall prey to the dark despair. Sadly, it is these people. Left unchecked, the shadow fully consumes them, their hearts, their minds, and in the end, even control of their very limbs is taken from them. stripped of the last semblances of sanity, they flail about in a manner most hideous. Tales tell of mothers blissfully unaware as they trampled their beloved children, men who danced so violently they ripped the limbs from their own bodies. This is the Totentanz, the dance of the damned. What madness is this? If you speak true, then this damnable dance you speak of arises from the fear and anger in people's hearts. Why didn't it not manifest itself in the wake of the calamity in Eorzean's darkest hour? Call me mad. I think I understand. In times of greatest crisis, just surviving for another day requires all the strength we can muster. People have neither the time nor the freedom of mind to dwell on emotions like hatred or anger. Oh, that was Renard. Shit. Renard has the right of it. It's precisely at this time, a time where Eorzea has made great strides in its recovery, yet deeper wounds still go undressed, that your people are most susceptible to that damnable dance. That's why our art was born so many ages ago. Not just to drive out the darkness from people's hearts in a figurative sense, but to literally cast out etheric shadows and free the afflicted from the clutches of the Totentanz. Yes, that is the truth of Troop Falsium, passed down from principle to principle for generations. What I did for the Duskwights was to use my dance to extract the shadow and darkness from their hearts and give it physical form that can then be struck down and banished. It's been several centuries since the menace of the Totentanz last reared its ugly head. To be honest, when we first came to Eorzea, I was unsure as to what we would encounter. So as not to worry the two of you overmuch, I kept the truth from you. Yet now that I have seen it with my own eyes, our mission could not be more clear. As the inheritors of the Kriegstans, we must chase the shadow of the Totentanz from this realm. I beg forgiveness for the secrecy, my friends, and ask that you lend me your aid. You can count on me. Of course you can count on us. After all, Arthur and I are dancers of Truth Falsium too. It's like you always say, a dancer never abandons her partner. Why should you have to carry the burden of saving the whole realm all by yourself? Renard, after all of my harsh words and hidden truths, you are far too kind. I must confess I'm still struggling to understand all this, but one thing's clear. This dancing epidemic you speak of poses a grave danger to our realm. I'll contact the other grand companies immediately and apprise them of the threat. Should there be any reports of similar phenomena in other nations, we'd like to call upon you to deal with the matter. Forgive us the imposition, but clearly this is beyond our ability. Leave it to us. Nothing would honour us more than if the nations of Eorzea would place their trusts in Troop Falsium and allow us to perform for their people. And with that, only Ishgard and Ala Mhigo remain on our itinerary. Of the two, Ishgard has had more time for its people to recover from the scars of war. Let us make it our next destination. At any rate, we will need more time to properly prepare for the confrontation ahead. In the meantime, Renard, you are to continue your performances. You require more practice still before I can bequeath to you all the secrets of the Kriegstans. You can count on me, Mistress Nashmira. And you, after, pray, continue to hone your skills in battle. If we hope to prevail against the Totentanz, we'll need your martial skills as well as we need your dancing. But no, it is not enough that we lure the shadows out of people's hearts. We must dispel the darkness for good, lest it simply drift on until it finds another unsuspecting host. Yes, we will be needing your strength more than ever. And with that, I too should prepare myself. Our true last act draws ever closer at hand. I'll be honest. I'm finding this quest line not that interesting. At least so far. After. Timing's impeccable. I just received word from Ishgard. The powers that be have decided to welcome Troop Falsium with open arms. Fortunately, there are no rumours to suggest that the Tottentans has already struck in the city, or any of the surrounding regions in Kurthus. And yet, word has it that some of the less privileged residents of the city have grown increasingly vocal of late, not entirely unlike what we witnessed in Uldar. We must be vigilant, and so I'd like to ask you and Renar to make for the Holy See as soon as you're able. I would join you, but I fear my wounds are not healing as quickly as I had hoped. I would only slow you down. Leave it to us, Mistress Nashmira. No matter what shadows plague the people's hearts, there'll be no match for your two favourite protégés. Come on, Ishgard awaits us. Which way was it again? Oh, my arms and legs feel like they're going to freeze and snap off like icicles. How can you even bear this? Yeah, I've gotten used to it. I suppose adventurers like you get to experience all sorts of climbs in your travels. Perhaps with time I'll get used to it too. Anyhow, our first order of business is to pay our respects to our hosts. I've been told that one Sir Onderloop awaits us at a place they call the Congregation. I take it you know the way? You could say that. Well met, After. It's always a pleasure to welcome you back to Ishgard. I must say, I did not expect to see you return to us as a member of a travelling dance troupe. Just wait until you see her on stage. She's a sight to behold. Oh, but forgive me. My name is Ala Mhigo, and I thank you for opening the gates of your fair city to Troop Falsium. The pleasure is ours. I must confess that I found the report from our friends at the Twin Adder regarding this Dance of the Damned somewhat difficult to believe. But if even a great hero like After here would come all the way here for this purpose, I'd be a fool to dismiss the threat. And yet, I have questions. The instructions from your Mistress Nashmira called for rounding up prominent members of the commoner class and seating them front and centre at your performance. I did not object, of course, but whatever purpose is this meant to serve? The Tottentans is a plague that spreads from one man's heart to the next, and those whose hearts weigh heaviest with anger, fear, and unease are often the first to fall prey to its clutches. If we can assemble influential members of the community and free their hearts from shadow before disaster strikes, these men and women could in turn raise the spirits of their peers. Mistress Nashmira believes this is our best hope for curtailing the spread of the Tottentans. Where the leaders go, so others will follow. I suppose it's as logical a course of action as any. Very well. I've already identified suitable personages and extended to them an invitation to your performance. The venue will be before the Gates of Judgment. We believe this location would be most accessible to those who live outside the city walls. Thank you kindly, my good sir. Well then, we'd better get on our way. I don't want to keep our audience waiting out there in the freezing cold. Why do I remind myself about the cold? Ugh. Okay, so I need to get to the Gates of Judgment, which there should be an Aethernet for. Ew. Talk about an imposing audience. Now let's give them a show to remember. Oh, and let's keep the true purpose of our performance to ourselves, alright? We don't want to cause a panic after all. If we can draw out and dispel the darkness before the Totentan strikes, our task will be that much the easier. And besides, we want our audience to enjoy the show, don't we? I must admit, I'm a bit nervous, but I know we'll be fine if we trust in each other. Alright, here goes nothing. Watch closely and follow my lead. Ladies, gentlemen, fair citizens of the Holy See, hailing from distant Razat Han in the east, we are Troop Falsium. Today we dance for you the Kriegstanz, an ancient art passed down to us from the days of yore. Though the Kriegstanz was born on the battlefield, it is a dance that brings healing and succor. Your people suffered for too long the horrors of the Drakensong War. Let our performance fill your hearts with hope and heal any scars that may yet linger. And now, without further ado, let the show begin! Never seen dancing like this before. It stirs the very depths of my soul. Just watching her, I can feel all my pain and anger melting away. Oh, that is not the same. Pay no mind to those ominous clouds. It's all part of the performance, you see. Yes, Troop Falsium spares no expense in treating our audiences to a spectacle for the senses. That's your cue. Now sweep those nasty shadows away. I wonder if I'm crashing from drinking that monster earlier more quickly than I normally would. Because I am a sleepy bitch right now. When I received a sudden invitation to this performance, I didn't know what to expect. But that was simply remarkable. Ever since the show ended, my mind's clear, and all my troubles just don't seem so bad anymore. And I the same. I must say, that last scene where those fearsome shadow beasts appeared was particularly dramatic and invigorating. It's the strangest feeling. Even though my lot in life hasn't changed one bit, I feel like I'll be able to face tomorrow with my head held high. You folks are far too kind, but thank you, one and all. Never in my life have I felt so proud to be a dancer. Nothing quite like seeing all those smiling, satisfied faces, don't you agree? Just the thought that we were able to bring a measure of happiness and hope to these people, these proud, strong people, makes all the hard hours of training worthwhile. Can you believe it? We were even able to stave off the shadows before the Totentans even struck. I do believe we've more than done Nashmira proud. I dare say our job here is done, so why don't we head back to Gridania and share the good tidings with everyone? I'll race you there. Oh wait, Gridania? Okay. Yeah, I know I'm properly tired because my eye is twitching. Evidently, I really didn't get enough sleep. We're nearly done with the dancer quests, though. I think we've just got level 70 left, right? After, it's Mistress Nashmira. She's gone. Settle down, Renar. Nothing ill's befallen our leader. She's simply taken a leave of absence, entirely of her own volition. She said she had a matter to attend to with an old friend. The same friend who introduced her to our patron, Master Gegaruju, if I recall. She's reluctant to go into detail, but it would seem this individual is also familiar with the Totentans, and has been researching the situation in Ala Mhigo on our behalf. Mistress Nashmira means to join her there and scout out a suitable venue for our ultimate performance. She's asked you and Rana continue training on your own until such time as she summons us. Would it have killed her to at least wait for our report? Or does this mean that she actually trusts us? If Mistress Nashmira believes in our ability to handle affairs, I suppose we owe her the same in return. Now that Ala Mhigo has finally been freed from the Garlean's yoke, surely it's only a matter of time before its people are ready to welcome us with open arms. At the same time, much like Ishgard, it is a land whose people have known more than their fair share of suffering. We will need to be at our best to deliver them from the dance of the damned. You know what that means, After. We must train with greater discipline than ever before. Hold on. Is standing gonna help me be less sleepy? This is ridiculous. Stretch break might also help. Okay. This also means that the lights are going to be more directly in my eyes, so maybe that'll help, or maybe that'll make me more tired. We'll see. So yeah, this is when we're going to get technical step. Sweet. Great news, After. A post-moogle just dropped off this letter from Mistress Nashmira. She says the stage has all been set for our performance in Ala Mhigo. Why, she's even scouted out what she claims is an ideal venue to host our exhibition, a village called Alagana that sits in the Girabanian Highlands. Doubtless, in part due to its location near the border, there are considerable fears among the villagers that the Garleans will return and retake their home with a vengeance. In other words, it's precisely the sort of place where the Totentans is likely to strike. At any rate, Mistress Nashmira assures me that she and her secretive acquaintance have made all the necessary preparations. The Ala Mhigan Resistance, she says, has seen fit to ensure that Alagana's most prominent residents will be in attendance. If we can perform as we did in Ishgard and swiftly dispel the darkness from their hearts, surely they'll be able to influence their fellow villagers and stave off the onset of the Potentats. And what did she say at the very end of her letter? Ah yes, Renar, after the success of our tour and the very future of Truth Falsium itself rides on you, and counting on you to rise to the occasion. Are you as excited as I am? Let's make this a show for the ages. And with that, let us set off for Alagana. We mustn't keep Mistress Nashmira waiting. Okay. Alagana. Alagana is the like rural one. Yeah, the rural one, not the city. That's Alagiri. There you are. Have you by chance seen Mistress Nashmira? I can't find her anywhere, but I'm sure she'll be along soon. I know she wouldn't miss our performance for the world. And look at what I found. I scoured the troops' wardrobe to find outfits befitting our grand finale. One thing's for certain, we'll be dressed to impress. And remember, mum's the words about the Tottentans, alright? We want our audience to enjoy the performance without worrying themselves with the terrible truth behind it all. Well then, whenever you're ready to take the stage, you know where to find me. Ready to raise the curtain on our final act. They're clearly excited for it, that's good. So close and yet so far. For all who cannot make the voyage to our home, we bring our art to yours. Hailing from Razat Han across the sea, I present the incomparable, transcendent Truth Falsium. Today we perform for you the ancient dance of our ancestors. A spectacle to stir the heart, enrich the mind, and chase away the shadows of doubt that plague your soul. Feast your eyes upon the Kriegstans. Booty. If they're going to put it there, I'm going to comment on it. They know what they're doing. Ooh, I like her hair. Oh, that's a big one. That's like a biblically accurate angel. Right on cue. Alright, let's take out that nasty thing before our audience realizes it's not just for show. Standing up and moving about a bit is helping, unless of a sleepy bitch. Just look at those enraptured faces. The excitement in the air is almost palpable. They know they're about to get a show the likes of which they've never seen. The Ala Mhigans are counting on us, in more ways than they themselves even know. We must dance, and not stop dancing till every last shadow has been purged from their hearts. This is the performance we were born to give. I should probably close position with you. Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay, so there's going to be ads too. That's cool. Don't let them touch you. Okay. Well, shit. Nashmira? Help! Oh, wait, she's here. Nice. Oh god. Yeah, group them up and... Oh. This is at least a bit more interesting than the Gunbreaker boss. There's a bit more going on. Okay. That's not so good. There we go. Yeah, that was much more enjoyable. My knee. I just clicked my knee and it. Yeah, that apparently needed to happen for a little bit. Mistress Nashmira, oh, I knew you wouldn't miss our grand finale. And you dancing, why, you were every bit as enchanting as I remembered from all those years ago. Sharing the stage with you truly was a dream come true. Simply had to make amends for my embarrassing display in Gridania, did I not? My wounds had all but healed entirely, so I redoubled my training efforts after arriving here in Ala Mhigo. Dare say I feel as spry as I have in years. And yet, there can be no doubt, you and After were the true stars today. To think that you've come so far in such a short span of time. Mayhap I should have admired your performance from the wings instead of stepping in. Mira, I seem to recall you telling me just the other day the girl was still not ready for the spotlight. Philomene? Yep, had a feeling. You know me, Lamine. I'm strict with my students because I expect only the best from them. And these two have done me proud today. Fancy meeting you hereafter. I must admit, it gave me quite a start when my Mira here told me that you, of all people, had joined her merry little troop. Mira and I go far, far back, you know. After those horrific events unfolded in Uldar, I hid away in Thavnair for some time. It was then that we first made each other's acquaintance. Song and dance go together rather well, needless to say, and our friendship rapidly blossomed. But when she turned to me for assistance in planning Troop Falsium's tour of Eorzea, I was more than happy to do my part. It does not surprise me that an accomplished adventurer would have many friends across the realm. But never would I have suspected you and my dear Lamine were so close. Truly, fate must have brought us together for a reason. I feel the same. Your presence alone has motivated me to grow in ways I never would have thought possible. You've given me the courage, strength, and determination to be more than what I was. Thought I recognized that face from somewhere. From Liberator of Ala Mhigo to Travelling Performer, eh? Not a path I'd have predicted, but I'm hardly surprised to see you emerge triumphant in whatever you do. Aye, that was truly a performance for the ages. Here in Alagana, we don't get much exposure to foreign cultures. Rather stimulating that was, especially the grand finale where you chased off those bloody shadow beasts. Got the blood pumping, I'd say. Only wish there was more we could do to show our appreciation. Think nothing of it, good sir. Just knowing that we've brought a measure of joy to Ala Mhigo in its time of need is reward enough for us. Too kind, ya, miss. The road ahead of us is a long one, but thanks to you, we can stride down it with a spring in our step. Knowing our village is always open to you. Oh, wait, know that our village is always open to you, should you ever be willing to grace us with another performance. Farewell, friends. Phew, for a second I thought he'd realised the true nature of those shadows. But no, the threat of the Tottentans has gone for now. It seems no one's the wiser. That's heartening indeed, and with that we should prepare for our departure. The Ala Mhigans were kind enough to invite us in these trying times. We mustn't linger so long that our presence becomes a burden. I too should be on my way. It was a pleasure and honour both to see you on the stage again, Mira, and you as well after. Till our paths cross again, go in safety. That was cute. So yeah, I much enjoyed that bit than the earlier parts of the questline. Well, that's the last of it. Our props are packed up and we're ready to take to the road. I must say, it's a touch bittersweet knowing that this was our last performance. I suppose even the best of things must come to an end. Mistress Nashmira will go ahead to Limsa Laminsa to secure us passage back to Razat Han. You'll stop by and see us off, yeah? We'd like to pay you proper thanks before taking our leave of this land. Okay. Let's swing by the retainer real quick. Okay. Some lumber. And a ring. That would have been good a while back, but I think I've got more than enough level 80 stuff now. Still, not a bad thing to have. I can always give it to my grand company. Might actually work out better if I just run there. I'm so touched. You really did come to see us off. Thank you ever so much for all you've done. It was an honor to tour Eorzean with you and bring strength and succor to its people. You have my gratitude as well. The peoples whose hearts you've touched will in turn inspire others. Before long, the Dance of the Damned will be but a memory. And yet, until that time, we cannot let down our guard. I propose that we extend our tour of Eorzean in the event that there are yet people in this realm who still require our aid. Do you truly mean this, Mistress Nashmira? After and I can keep dancing together? In good time, Rana, yes. After is an adventurer, and one whose services are justifiably in high demand. It would not be very considerate of us to monopolize her services for our ends. And so we bid you farewell for now. Rana and I will remain in Limsa and consult with Master Gegaruju about potentially extending our tour to new locations. Pray, come back and visit us on occasion, yeah? Rana gets awfully lonely without company. Hey, that's not... Well, I suppose it is true. Keep dancing after, and let us eagerly await the day that we can take the stage together anew. Awesome. And that is Dancer done until the level 80 quest. Cool. And that means we now have technical step, which I believe is, yeah, it's basically another better version of standard step. So having those stacked on each other, I think makes sense. Real quick, if we head to the Gold Saucer, we might have time to do a quick gate. But then I'm probably going to call it there for today. Because I am sleepy. I might go and have a little bit of a lie down before I need to leave for this group I'm going to. At the very least, it would probably do me some good to not have the bright lights and everything on me. Easy. But also with that, I can now go and buy another thing of MGP, which which will put me at what? Almost 700,000. Nice. So that's about a third of the way to... Wait, where am I going? About a third of the way to the Sabatenda Imperiador. Mount. There we go. So yeah, it's been a good stream. We've made some good progress, and that should mean that the next time that we go in, we can potentially start Shadowbringers proper, knowing that we've done pretty much everything. If for whatever reason I'm doing another short stream, I might do like the optional stuff from the end of Stormblood. Like there's a few dungeons that we've not unlocked that we could do, but we've done all the trials and raids and alliance raids and things like that. So I don't think the dungeons would actually take very long at all. Even if we did all of them in the same stream, I think it would probably be maybe an hour or two worth of stuff. But we do also still have a lot of stuff to do in Eureka, so if I'm feeling like it, I might stream some of that as well, because I've still got quite a lot of stuff to do in Pyros. And I need to get back on sniping the support fates for Hydatos crystals. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one, which will probably be Wednesday. I doubt I'm going to stream tomorrow, because I'm going to go and see my parents and stuff. So yeah, have a good one. Later.